There are habits that turn a man into a king, and then there are habits that turn a man into a peasant. Take a look around you, and you will see the countless peasants. They are a slave to their own urges, a slave to the programming of media. Remember, it's possible to be picking up better habits while still holding on to the bad ones. As a man, it's your duty to recognize the bad habits and leave them behind for good. The Bible says that the fool returns to his folly just as a dog returns to eat his own vomit. With that said, here are those 5 habits that turn you into a weak, submissive man. And if you are wise, then you will never return to these habits again. Habit number 1, self-loathing. It may come as a surprise to some of you, but thinking negatively about yourself happens so commonly amongst men of all ages that it's practically a daily ritual for them. These men partake into a daily dose of self-pitying, self-hating, and self-destructive speech. You will hear them make fun of themselves, even in small talk. They might joke about their purpose in life, as if it was something to laugh about. The worst part is that this does not end with just words, but thoughts as well. Think about an average weak man. 80% of his mind is taken up by a toxic load of horrible scenarios. These men spend entire hours of each and every day thinking the worst of themselves. As a result, they slowly turn into weaklings with no gut or spine. So, how can you, my brother, get rid of all of your self-toxicity? The process starts in your mind. The reason why you keep on seeing yourself like a loser is because you've gotten used to thinking that you actually are one. But here's the harsh reality. Most of the evil thoughts in your mind are linked to an element of truth, which is why you continue to believe them. It's your duty to find out what that small element of truth is and fix it immediately. Let's say you believe that girls will never love you. It is your duty to get to the bottom of this problem. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why do I believe this? Does it have to do with my skincare, my personality, my physique? As a man, resist the urge to babble on and on with that victim mentality. Instead, take action. If it's your personality that's the issue, then put yourself in social events where you are forced to take on a more charismatic role. Remember, there's nothing in this world that cannot be fixed. Yes, it may take time and effort, but it is all possible. So snap out of that victim mentality and take action. Habit number 2, overconsumption. It's no secret that most of the new modern addictions are born from the internet. On every platform, easy-to-consume content gets shared and generated every second. In fact, just think about the average attention span of a human today. It's 8.25 seconds. That's correct. Humans today have a shorter attention span than a goldfish, which sits at 9 seconds. With the rise of social media, our attention spans have become so small that we can't even sit for a few moments to pray. No wonder people have left God and turned to their evil ways. It just makes me think about the upcoming generation. They are bombarded with their phones, tablets, and TV all at the same time. It wouldn't be a surprise if their attention span is 2 seconds. Unfortunately, the vast majority of the content is specifically made to be as addictive as possible. And the worst part is that it's almost entirely trash. Some people literally go on social media specifically to get offended by some piece of information that's far from desirable to see. The average weak man is forced to watch and interact with an endless stream of internet material of any kind, up until he gets addicted to it. Instant gratification of this type is the most deadly, as it's by nature infinite in quantity. So how can you struggle out of this situation? The answer is simple. Start by tracking how much time you are spending on media consumption. The reason why most people get addicted in the first place is because they don't keep track of how long they are spending on social media. At most, only give 2 hours to social media per day. Overconsumption is what has desensitized us to reality. Think back to the time where you were a child. Even an old toy car was enough to grab your attention. You can still return back to that level of enjoyment, but first, stop sedating yourself through overconsumption. And of course, I don't mean just overconsumption of social media. This applies to everything. Food, women, lust, cars, you name it. Habit number 3. They lie and deceive themselves. It truly breaks my heart, but we have so many brothers who spend their best years sitting in front of a screen, making a fool of themselves and lazily struggling through life. You may think that someone who does that must have no faith in the future, but that's not completely right. The sad thing is, these men do have hope for a better tomorrow, but that hope is placed on all the wrong things. These men go into pubs with their so-called friends to discuss all about their tragedies. They believe in luck more than they believe in God. Each day, they buy a new lottery ticket and spend their nights gambling to somehow win their financial freedom. They hope that the next politician will reduce all taxes to 0. They hope that some random TV producer will find them and give them the chance to become a movie star. All of that hope and no action put into it. They deceive themselves into thinking that good things simply happen to people who are patient enough. Now, don't get me wrong, brother. It is indeed a virtue to be patient. But there's a difference between being patient and sitting there like a fool. In order to succeed in life, you must take action and not just dream all day. Habit number 4. Poor sleep. What does the average man do at 1 a.m.? If you answered sleeping, then you might be in for a surprise. The vast majority of modern men take no care of their sleeping schedule. They stay up late in order to satisfy their desires of self-fulfillment. Most of these men are wide awake at 1 a.m., choking the living soul out of their meat. Once they're done with beating their meat, they just spend the next hour scrolling mindlessly on social media. After that comes their regret. Oh, I only have 3 hours until my work shift starts. I have such a sad life. Poor me. Their bodies and minds are given no time to heal. With a night routine like this, how can you expect to have the energy to do anything, let alone break an addictive cycle? If this is your night routine, then you have chosen weakness, my brother. As simple as it may sound, every great man needs a great dose of high-quality sleep to recover. The best thing you can do to sleep better is to follow the natural rhythm of the sun. When the sun goes down, you must cease work and get into your rest mode, only to then go to bed quickly after. But you must earn that rest by working hard during the day. The best night rest happens when you are tired and your mind knows that it's well deserved. Without straining your body to its limits, you'll never have the desire and will to rest for the night. And finally, habit number 5, procrastination. Before clicking on this video, you probably already knew that this habit was going to come up. Procrastination is truly the new disease that affects every man in the world today. Unfortunately, this knowledge didn't save you from indulging in it. The reason why everyone seems to procrastinate so much is because they fail to understand how important it is to complete those daily tasks. In fact, think about the average millionaire and the broke man. Do you know what sets the two apart? Simple: speed. If you study the lives of millionaires, you will find that most of them have a very set, rigid work routine. They decide the direction of their day. The average broke man, on the other hand, has no routine. He just eases into the day and gives himself unnecessary breaks as a reward for something he didn't even do. These so-called short breaks turn into days, into months, and years. And before he knows it, he's a living, breathing definition of procrastination. Ask yourself, young brother, if you had spent the only last 1 month doing everything you told yourself you would do, where would you be right now? How would your relationships look like? How would your bank balance look like? How would your health look and feel like? Now, instead of regretting over the past and telling yourself, "Oh, I should have started then," consider it a lesson and put that 1 month now, starting from today. To see the next best way to level up as a man, check this video here.